Loa is the world's largest active volcano. Situated in the US state of Hawaii, what would happen if one of the world's most dangerous volcanoes erupted? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that loves a good ponder. While our channel name may focus on the big, we also love the small. That being said, today's episode is pretty giant and very fiery. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm asking, what if Mauna Loa erupted? Before we get into this video, I want you guys to let me know how near you live to an active volcano. I'm in Toronto, which is East Canada, and I believe my nearest volcanoes are on the Pacific Ring of Fire in West Canada, so pretty far away from a lava palaver over here. Do let me know where you are in the comment section down below, and also do leave a thumbs up on this video and share it with a friend. Also, why not get some fire emojis going on in the comments section, because burn. Stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to be reading some comments from a previous one. So, hello Mauna Loa. Mauna Loa is the second biggest volcano in the world and one of 5 that makes up the island of Hawaii. Its existence is bittersweet. On the one hand, the Hawaiian volcanoes are the reason for the state of Hawaii, but on the other, an eruption threatens life on the Pacific Islands. Mauna Loa has had frequent eruptions in modern history. Since 1900, the volcano has erupted roughly a dozen times, the last eruption being in 1984, 35 years ago. Now it's going through its longest quiet period in modern history. Scientists are saying there is a 100% chance that Mauna Loa will erupt again, so really this question is not a what if, but rather a what happens when. Now the answer really does depend on the severity of the eruption. The last time the volcano blew 35 years ago, the lava flow came within 4 miles of the town of Hilo, which at the time had 35,000 people living there. That's around 8,000 less than today. In 1984, nobody died and just 16 miles of state-owned land was destroyed, but the eruption was pretty small. In 1868, there was a much bigger eruption that spewed lava at 20 miles per hour, killing cattle and horses in its wake and destroying a handful of buildings. The issue with this eruption was that it also triggered an earthquake. Coupled with the lava issue, an 8.0 magnitude earthquake caused a landslide and a tidal wave which killed 77 people and destroyed 118 houses. While this is awful, it still wasn't a violent eruption. 10 years ago, it seemed as if Mauna Loa would erupt, but instead, half the mountain shifted south, which gave the magma chamber a greater room to stay beneath the surface. This means that there is actually more hot magma to spew than before. This could mean the next eruption could see even more lava. Now, lava is fast, you absolutely can't outrun it, but scientists are actually pretty good at being able to predict its flow. If the volcano did erupt, then those in the so-called curtain of fire range, the predicted path of the magma flow, would evacuate their homes. While lava is concerning and of course very visually dramatic, it really isn't that much of a risk when you know it's coming. The greatest risks are earthquakes and the knock-on effects of tsunamis and volcanic mudflows, but the greatest risk of all is the cloud of hot gas and volcanic material thrown into the air. Oh, and there are often poisonous gases thrown into the air too. One of the most deadly volcano explosions in Hawaii was Mauna Loa's sister volcano. This is the volcano Kilauea, which continuously erupted between 1983 and 2018. In 1790, an explosion there led to the deaths of 400 warriors, who were hit with hot steam and sulfuric acid as they stood near the caldera. These days, civilians would not be allowed anywhere near the volcano prior to eruptions, which geologists again would sense coming through increased seismic activity. When Mauna Loa erupts, it's likely that there will be some hot ash damage and air pollution, although this isn't anticipated to be on a massive scale like Mount St. Helens, or indeed anything like what would happen if Yellowstone ever erupted. Nonetheless, volcanic smog could cause flight cancellations, contaminate crops and drinking water, and possibly even cause acid rain. As Mauna Loa is frequently erupting as a volcano and Hawaii is quite aware of the threats, an eruption just wouldn't be catastrophic. It wouldn't be a violent eruption that could wipe out an island, but it could still do some serious infrastructural damage, and it would have the potential to take a lot of lives if the eruption was a total surprise, but again, it just wouldn't be. It is constantly monitored for activity. Before it does happen, people will be evacuated from their homes, especially homes in the path of the fiery curtain, as well as those living on the coast for fear of a tsunami, like before. If managed properly, the death toll could be very small or non-existent, although health could be impacted by the bad air quality. Those of us with asthma, well, well, it could be pretty difficult. All that being said, yes, lives can easily be saved, but homes, roads, and infrastructure in general would definitely suffer. Lava can burn through a neighborhood and cut through a road with ease. When the volcano does erupt, depending on the severity, it could easily cost Hawaii around $30 to $40 million in repair. Sadly, it is an inevitability that developers and residents need to think about when building or buying a home in the shadows of Mauna Loa. But you know, bright side, it really wouldn't be anywhere near as bad as when Yellowstone finally blows after hundreds of thousands of years of dormancy. That is one threat that humanity seems to have forgotten about, and I'm honestly not sure we want to be here for the reminder. So that's one question answered for you. That's our best predictions for what Mauna Loa has in store for us. And yes, it will be bad, but it won't be that bad. Silver linings, eh? Don't forget to let me know what your nearest volcano is in the comments section down below. Perhaps you live in Hawaii, in which case, aloha. If you are watching this video at this point, please do give it a like and share it with a friend. I'm just gonna read some comments from one of our recent videos. What if White Walkers were real? John RD said, I'm pretty sure that we could kill them all. Back then with White Walkers, they only used medieval weapons. These days we've got guns and bombs and nukes. Yes, but do we have Valerian steel and dragon glass? We had a good question from Varun Mahankali, who said, what if grayscale disease was real? I want Rebecca Felgate to do this. Well, I think that grayscale is roughly loosely based on the historic disease of leprosy, so I guess that we'd find a way to cure it. Good! Great answers. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next one, but until then, please do stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.